Tell us how you heard about ReINVENT or how you got involved in it.
Well, as you know, I'm Vice President of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, and you approached us asking for funding. This was something I knew very little about initially. We were really impressed by the application, and when you got funding, then I did my own research and was absolutely astounded by so much rich material there is in this project, and I'm really impressed by what's happening.
Thank you. And what does it mean to you, ReINVENT, how you have seen the project?
I think it's very important from a local point of view, a Glasgow point of view, because most of these can you edit that out?
Yeah,
just speak on.
Most of these industries actually occurred in this area, as you know, with the carpets, the shawls, etc., the rope works, and consequently these were major industries employing so many people in this area until about 50 years ago, and there's still people alive, of course, who worked in this industry. So the project too was particularly important for me because it brought together academics and also practitioners. Academics in a wide range of areas, whether it is design, whether it is manufacture, if you like, engineering, and also practitioners, if you like, people who are actually still weaving and working with textiles. And there are very few areas and projects that we see at any rate in the Royal Society of Edinburgh that cover such a wide range of expertise.
What do you think the legacy of ReINVENT should be?
Well, I think you're going to, first of all, interest those who had been involved in the industry. I'm sure today there will be people coming, but also to tell people about the strength of that industry a century ago, because basically we're looking at industrial revolution periods, 1780, 1790, up to, in fact, about 1970, I imagine that is the area. And this was the time when this part of Scotland, at any rate, was a major manufacturer, producer of these carpets, shawls, etc. And I think, so it's not only heritage, but it's also showing the incredible artistic design, the expertise that was there, something that mustn't be lost. Another area, of course, is the archives, where we have the archives of so many of these companies, and they tell us so much about what was happening, and an inspiration for the future as well. That's great.
I got to hear about it through Anita, because as I said, I used to travel with her on the train from Glasgow to Edinburgh in the mornings when she was working in the National Museum, and she told me about it, and because we had been talking about the chemistry of dyestuffs during our earlier acquaintance, and I thought this sounded a very, very interesting project, one which I would very much like to be part of. So when she invited me to come along to the first one, I was delighted to come.
How does ReINVENT matter to you?
I think it reminds me of my past. It's a nostalgia trip in many ways for me, because I started looking at the industrial archaeology of the textile industries back in the mid-1960s. The very first industrial archaeology tour I made of a factory was Maryhill in Alva, which was a wool cloth mill, which dated back to the early 1800s, and which still at that time had some handlooms, and also had pattern books going back to that period. And I found the pattern books particularly interesting. I can still see behind a particular shade of blue that they used as a fabric at that time. But the sea handlooms that had only recently stopped being used for weaving patterns for the factory was absolutely fascinating. And when I was a student, I worked for a while in P. Coates' dyeing laboratory in the Anchor Mills. And when I left, the head dyer said to me, one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me, I think I could have made a dyer out of you. So I had a kind of sentimental attachment to it, not just to the production side, but also to the dyeing side.
What What do you think the legacy of ReINVENT should be?
I think it should continue as a networking structure, because I think that connections are being made, particularly between older people like myself and the new younger people who are coming in, both to museums and to academia. I think they could be of lasting value, and I think it's important that the knowledge transfer aspect of ReINVENT continues, but also that it goes into greater depth into some of the themes that we've, in a way, almost had to skate over during the early part of ReINVENT.
I got involved in ReINVENT mainly through Textile and colleagues in my department, Emily Taylor and Lisa Mason, both work with ReINVENT, and they're really enjoying their involvement with the project. But of course our collections relate very closely to the mission really of ReINVENT.
How does ReINVENT matter to you?
I think it matters to me in that it helps us make connections between the material we have in the collections and material resources in other departments. And I think that helps make the whole museum experience a much more holistic experience. You know, these objects all require close context, and you can only really do that by making connections. If we look at things in too much isolation, then we're depriving ourselves of the richer resource that really helps embellish our experience and enjoyment of these things.
What do you think the legacy of ReINVENT should be?
The legacy has got to be partly the network it fosters, so that we've got a very collegiate kind of means of connecting with each other. I think the legacy could also be felt through improving our documentation, of course, and I think working towards the types of exhibition proposals that were mentioned at today's event. You know, I think there are new ideas there that can emerge from the sorts of conversations that we're having between ourselves in this interdisciplinary way.